Hey Mixies! Welcome to Mixed Thoughts, a grooming podcast. It's your groomer bestie here, Ciara, coming to chat with you about the ins and outs of grooming and entrepreneurship. We'll dive into a mixture of topics with stories from myself and friends near and far. Let's navigate this journey together.
What's up, Mixies? Welcome back to Mixed Thoughts, a grooming podcast. I am your host, Ciara, and this is episode number 2. Look at me, being consistent. So today I want to talk to you about working in corporate as a dog groomer. I started my grooming journey as a dog groomer. If you did not watch the first episode, go back and get a whole deep dive of everything I talked about, from me starting my grooming journey to why I started my grooming journey and all the above. You can check that out in the first episode, but I want to do a deeper dive into how I became a dog groomer, but working for a corporation. And that corporation was good old PetSmart. Now, PetSmart has changed since I have left. I feel like I left in 2016? It was either 2016 or 2017 because I started my business in 2018. So it was either 2016 or 2017 that I left PetSmart. But before PetSmart was what it is now, because it is run by a different bunch of people, it was a totally different ball game. And PetSmart is not the only, corporate grooming facility out there. There is also Petco. And now PetSmart has branched out to just having strictly grooming salon as their main source of revenue, instead of it being like a pet store and a grooming salon and a pet hotel. They call it the Groomer, y'all. And I know they're in select cities and states, but Petco also is doing that too. It's called Petco Grooming. I'm not sure what the other large corporate grooming facilities would be, but I know those as the main, bigwigs, as you will, if you are thinking about a grooming salon that is a corporation. So I had the lovely opportunity of being a bather at PetSmart. Now, I worked at PetSmart before in my college days. You'll know that from episode 1, but I want to get into it just a little bit more because this will all make sense about, my grooming journey. So in college, I worked at PetSmart in the small animals department. So that was the fish, the birds, the small animals like the hamsters, rabbits, and gerbils, and sometimes they had rats. Child, I ain't deal with the rats. I was fine with the rats because they weren't ugly looking, but they were still rats, pet rats. We ain't talking about that. And they had the reptiles in the small animal department. So I was working with them. I was not working in the grooming salon while I was in college. When I left and went back home, I got a job in my city to do bathing, because I was like, I've done the small animals before, and that's not my cup of tea. I love dogs. I grew up with dogs, so I was like, I want to try the grooming salon. I love dogs and animals, and I want to hang out with the dogs. I was like, I'm going to watch these dogs and play with them all day. That was the thought, right? Naive Ciara and naive thinking. I knew that going into it, there's hard work. You have to work. It's a job at the end of the day. It's not just you get to play with dogs all day. There are, facets of the job that require you to do some work. So obviously. So I started I was really good with bathing. I picked that up really quick because I grew up with dogs. So I knew how to groom a dog, like bathing wise. I knew how to like thoroughly, scrub their coat, brush them out. I wasn't really fond of the nails because I didn't really do that when I was at home or, taking care of my dogs. That was left to my parents, or I feel like they took them to the groomers. But honestly, back in the day, I don't remember nobody in my family taking the dog to the groomers. I ain't even gonna hold you. But I did remember that somebody did their nails, but it wasn't me. So I had to be taught how to do nails and, brush teeth properly because I ain't do that either. I just know how to scrub the dog and towel dry and sometimes like use a blow dryer. We learned that back in the day before we knew how to properly take care of dogs while you're at home. But yeah, I was really good at that. Got the dogs in and out really quickly, made them look good, smell good, had shiny coats. I didn't leave soap on the dog because that's a thing. You could leave the soap on the dog and irritate their skin, and then their coat starts to fall out. And then they get hot spots, and then it's a whole thing, and then you in trouble. But that wasn't me. Your girl knew what she was doing. Your girl was very thorough with the cleaning, bathing process. So my salon manager at the time was like very fond of me. She was like, "You're very fast at this and you know how to take care of the dogs properly. You should be a dog groomer. You ever thought about that?" I was like, "Oh no, that's not what I want to do. That's not what I came here to do. I came here to wash dogs, play with them, hang out with y'all, talk and chat, and then clock out and go home and do my thing. Go to the club, go party, go shake a tail feather." You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I wanted to do because I was still in my young 20s. I was not trying to do nothing extra than what I had to do for my paycheck. My paycheck was saying you go in there, you wash the dogs, you dry the dogs, you brush the dogs out, you check out the dog, you give them their slip to pay, and you go about your merry way. You clean up in the salon and you out. Clock out, get your paycheck at the end of the week. That was what I wanted to do. So I told my manager, I said, "No, I see how these clients be talking to y'all and they be getting mad because you did it too short or you did the nails this way and you did the haircut and the face that way. I don't got time for that agita. That's not my ministry. I don't want to do it." So I would say respectfully declined. Okay. And she was just like, "You should really be a groomer." And I was like, "I really shouldn't." Child, when I tell you, she kept on badgering me and badgering me and badgering me and being annoying. And I was like, "Girl, leave me alone. I told you once, I told you a million times I don't want to be a groomer. I ain't come here to be no groomer, okay?" She was like, "It's really good. Like, you make a lot of money." She was like, "Don't you know you make a lot of money?" I said, "I make a lot of money bathing these dogs. I get tips too. I get good tips. Okay? I was getting $20 tips for just bathing a German Shepherd. Sometimes they would give me more than $20 for washing a dog." I said, "My tips is fine. Thank you very much." But honestly, I wasn't thinking like longevity because I didn't think this job was going to be something that I was going to do forever. I told y'all in the first episode, like, I never wanted to be a groomer. I never thought grooming was a thing for me. I wanted to be a vet. God had other plans, obviously. So I feel like this was like the universe telling me, like, listen to this lady because she's not going to stop until you say yes. So she asked me one more time and I said, "Okay, just to shut you up, I will go to Grooming Academy." Now, in PetSmart specifically, I don't know about other corporations. I don't know about a Petco because I never went to Petco. So if you are a Petco groomer, let me know in the comments below if this is similar. So in PetSmart, they have what you call a Grooming Academy, and it is a 4-week training of the ins and outs of the dog anatomy, breed anatomy, breed specific, how to care for a dog, how to groom the dog. And the Grooming Academy trainer will go through all the steps and teach you everything you need to know about grooming a dog properly. And then you will be certified by PetSmart that you are a professional dog groomer. So I went to Academy, and luckily the Academy was in my salon, and it was my salon manager who was the trainer. And when I tell you, this woman, I feel like she still works for PetSmart. I actually saw her today. I went to Intergroom for grooming competition and a training show. I will talk to you all about that in another episode, but I did see her, and she was working one of the booths, and she's doing her thing. Like, she is a Groom Team USA member, and she's really good at what she does. Now, when I was her employee and she was my salon manager and trainee, not trainee, I was the trainee. She was my trainer and also my mentor. She had 16 plus years under her belt, and her mom had her own private salon. So she learned from her mom, who probably has been grooming for years and years and years and years. So she already has the knowledge and the expertise and the longevity to give proper instructions, even if it wasn't, mandated by PetSmart specifically on the training capabilities that you were supposed to learn in that particular store or that particular corporation. So I was lucky. I got the better end of the stick, if you will. And so she was very thorough with our group, my group of people that I was in Academy with, and I learned a lot. Now, my grooms weren't up to par in the beginning because child was just learning, but I picked up pretty quickly. I can't say the same for all my other trainees in my class. I want to say, how many girls were there? I think there was 5 of us, including me. And then I want to say 3 out of the 5 did great, including me. So that's a pretty good statistic of the ratio of who's a good groomer versus who ain't so good, because there were some issues with some of the girls, but that's their business. That's not mine. But I will say that I did learn a lot. I was able to have hands-on experience. And the beauty of Grooming Academy is that it is the clientele that come into the salon regardless, but they just get a discounted price because they are trainees working on your dog to do a groom. So, like, if we jack up your groom, you get a discount. So it's all right. And you are aware that a student is training to groom and they're using your dog as a demo. So that's where the discount comes in play. But I will say I learned a lot, like I said, and you have to do 100 dogs. After the 4 weeks of doing the Grooming Academy, you have to go back to your salon, your home salon, which I ain't going nowhere because it was in my salon. You have to do 100 dogs and certain breed cuts. Obviously, you're not going to get all the different types of breeds coming in your salon because obviously most of these people just have pets that want to shave down or just like nice and fluffy, keep them looking cute, keep them looking manageable. So we would do a breed on, say for instance, I had a Shih Tzu and I needed to put the dog into a Westie cut, a breastie. Oh my God, not a breastie. Put it in a Westie breed cut style. So we would say if the Shih Tzu was going to get a 7 all over, which is a short shaved low cut all over, I would rough in, and a rough in, it means basically, start the shave on the dog in the breed standard that I needed to get to, check off that I've done this breed correctly, set it in that certain Westie cut, right? take a picture, show my manager, and she would tell me if it looks good or not. And if it looks good, I take a picture, put it in my notes, put it in my little academy notebook that I did this dog. And, that would check off the breed standard that I needed to get. I forget, and I wish I still had the notebook of how many dogs I did and like the certain breeds that I had to do in that breed cut, because like I said, not all the dogs came in. They were Westies or they were Schnauzers or whatever. They didn't all come in like that. So I had to work with what I had. But all the pictures that I had, it's so funny because I wish I had the book to show you. But my memories were seeing that like I had a lot of work to do, but like I was getting the feel of putting these dogs in a standard breed cut and like feeling good when I saw how I was doing it and I was doing it well. That just gave me the motivation to keep going and doing more and wanting to do more and being excited when I got an opportunity to put these dogs in these certain breed standard cuts. So yeah, I was starting to get excited about grooming, and we did have our moments of like accidents, because accidents happen. You're dealing with live animals. But I will say this, I'm glad, and I'm going to get into the pros and cons of working for a corporate as a dog groomer. I am glad that I learned at PetSmart, because I did have and I did have accidents. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I never cut a dog. I never did this. I never did that. There are times I nicked like a paw pad, or I nicked like a nipple on like under the belly, or like a little piece of flap of skin like on the flank area and things like that. Like I said, accidents happen. But the beauty is PetSmart does have a Banfield, which is an animal hospital in store. So if we did have accidents, we would take them right over to Banfield. They would, do what they needed to do. If it was super severe, we obviously would talk to the pet parent and let them know what's going on. One or two things would happen. We would, comp their groom, or they would still pay for the groom, but we would discount the price because it wouldn't be as severe as, a major cut or anything like that. So there are times that I have had accidents. It hasn't been a lot, and I don't remember the number because that was so long ago and I was just learning, but accidents did happen. I will say that. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I was a perfect groomer. None of us are perfect groomers because we are humans, and the animals that we deal with are live animals. So they're going to move. They're going to be ornery. They're not going to want to sit still for the groom or whatever the case may be. There's something that we just have to adjust and accommodate, because the dog doesn't want to be there to get groomed. That's not what they're looking forward to doing. They have to get it done. So they have no choice but to sit there. Or not, and then we're going to have to reap not the benefits, the repercussions. But regardless, that's just life. And that is why I am glad that I learned in a corporation versus like having to learn from a mentor at a private shop or maybe even a school, because schools, they have larger amounts of students to take care of. And so you probably won't get that hands-on interaction with your trainer or your mentor to, know the ins and outs of caring and properly handling the pet, versus my academy, like my class, like I said, had 5 girls, including me in it. So more hands-on interaction, more teaching capabilities, more care and understanding from one groomer to a professional groomer, if that makes sense. So yeah, I am very, very pleased that I was able to learn and be a groomer for so long in PetSmart. the PetSmart that I was in. Now, all PetSmarts are not created equally because it's all about the volume of your salon, the location, the people who are in your salon, and your salon manager. My salon manager cared a lot about her salon and the people in it. So, and the clients that came in. And we were a high volume salon, meaning that there was a influx of people coming in and out. And so there was a lot of groomers and a lot of bathers in my salon. So it was a little crowded at times, but we did make do, and we were very kind, and we had like camaraderie amongst one another to get things done. So it wasn't like, there were catty fights, there were arguments, there were disagreements, because most of us it was mostly a salon full of women. There were maybe like 2 or 3 or maybe 4 guys that came in and out of the salon, but majority of salon, like grooming salons, consists of women. That's just what it is. We are mostly a woman-based industry, but you know, there were some guys in there, but all that feminine hormones raging could get a little spicy and whatnot, but you know, that's to be expected. But I will say we did a very good job on being respectful and caring about each other and respecting each other's boundaries and helping one another out when we needed assistance, like help with a dog that was difficult, or help drying a dog because we were behind and we had to wait for dryers and wait for tables and all that whole thing. So we knew how to work well with one another. I can't say the same for other salons, because there were times that I did go to other salons to help out because they were short-staffed, and baby, the way they were doing stuff in their salons, I was like, oh, this would not fly in my salon. Everyone would have a conniption fit and there would be problems. Oh, there would be problems. So yeah, each PetSmart is not created equal, and I'm sure that goes the same for other Petcos. It's just about your environment. And I was lucky. I was a lucky one. There are people that I know that worked for PetSmart too, and they're like, I had a terrible experience. It was awful. My salon manager was the worst. My trainer didn't help me with anything. I didn't learn anything from my grooming academy. And I'm like, damn, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry that that's your experience, because I'm so grateful that that was not my experience, especially knowing the fact that I didn't want to be a groomer. If I had experienced the negative impact like some of the groomers that I know experienced, I would not be talking to y'all right now talking about I am a groomer and I have my own dog grooming business and I love what I do. I would not be telling you this. So you have to, if you are looking to start your grooming journey or your grooming career and you're thinking maybe I should go to a corporation, fill out the area, fill out the store, even like outside where everybody is, you know, like the actual store where the cashiers, see how they talk to the customers, see how the managers are, see how the people in pet care are, see how the stockers are, because they affect the whole camaraderie of the store, not just the store, but the salon as well, because you're a part of the team inside the salon and outside the salon. So if you're interested in doing something corporate related for your grooming career, look into that and see how the people are in that store. And if they don't seem like they love their job, maybe you shouldn't go there. I'm just saying. Because there's many PetSmarts and there's many Petcos in like a certain vicinity. So it's not like that one in particular is the only one that you can do because it's right next to your house, or, you know, it's very convenient. Sometimes you got to go out a little bit further than in your comfort zone just to get something worthwhile. Trust me. Because there was one right down the street from my house, and I worked at the one in this big plaza, like this big shopping center. And that was like perfect because everybody and their mama would go there for like groceries. There was like clothing department stores. There was like a Bed Bath and Beyond over there. So that was a very good like place to get ongoing clients, especially during the holidays. So yeah, something to look into if you are trying to look for a corporate grooming salon. So now I'm going to tell you about the pros and the cons of corporate grooming. The pros, the positives, as always. I will say it is the bi-weekly or the weekly consistent paychecks, because as a person who works for herself, I just pay myself when I feel like I have enough money to pay myself, because I have a team now and I pay my team first before I pay myself. I know y'all probably gonna be in the comments talking about, girl, you need to pay yourself before you pay your people, because you gotta put the face mask on you before you put the face mask on somebody else. And I hear you, I receive that, but I'm a person that is like, they got bills to pay and they have responsibilities that I ask them to be a part of my team. So I'm going to give them their money before I give myself my money. I'll make it work. I'll figure it out. But yeah, I ain't have to worry about that when I was working at PetSmart, because that check came every week. We get 50% commission at PetSmart at the time. I don't know if that is different now. Remember, this was a while ago, so things could be different. If it's the same, let me know. Just update me on new things or things that stayed the same at PetSmart, because I am not aware anymore. I don't care, but I do want to know, for the benefit of this video and for the information that I could provide to other people, just in case they are interested in that. But when I worked at PetSmart, it was a 50% commission and I got a weekly check. And I loved my weekly check, because I would always go out every Friday, every Saturday, and spend my check. Because I knew my money was coming every week. So my 20s, I was not responsible with my money, but now I know better, you know? But yes, I was very appreciative of that paycheck. That paycheck was very, very nice. And I will also say, when you didn't have enough dogs, they would give you an hourly pay. Now, my hourly pay obviously was not as much as my commission pay, but it was convenient for those people who weren't getting those dogs in like that week, because it's a quota. PetSmart's all about the money, honey. They all about how many dogs can you get in a day, how many dogs can you get in a week, so we can make this quota make sense, you know? So they want to make sure that you are compensated, but you need to make sure you get the dogs in a timely manner, and you need to get those dogs in your quota. So the store's quota is on the same page. But I didn't have to worry about that, getting like an hourly pay, because your girl always had dogs and your girl always made the money. The coins always flowed. Not to toot my own horn, but beep, beep. I was one of the top groomers in my salon. And like I said, your girl never not had dogs. And that's just on period. Okay? But yeah, that was a nice thing. Another nice thing was the benefits, honey. The benefits always came on time. They was always here for your girl, okay? Like, never had any problems with my health insurance, and I opted into my retirement 401k. So my dad told me to do this. So shout out to you, Dad, for telling me that I should invest in a 401k for my retirement, because you never know what happens when like times are hard, or you have things to pay for and you don't have any income coming in. You never know. It's a just in case of an emergency type of situation, which I appreciated. But the for the retirement 401k plan, I put money in. I feel like I put like 3 or 5% of my check into my 401k, and still don't know if this is still a thing. But once I put my portion in, my percentage in, PetSmart matched it and put the same amount in that I put in. So it wasn't like I'm doing all the hard work. They're like, for your efforts and the fact that you're investing in your retirement, we're going to help you out as well. And I said, oh, look at that. And when I left PetSmart, I had a good chunk of change in my 401k. And because of that, I was able to buy my van for my grooming, like for mobile grooming. So there are perks for the benefits of like working for a corporate salon. So yeah, that I love. That was like beautiful. When I found that out, and my dad was like, invest in that, put your money into your retirement. And when I did, and when I saw what was in there, I said, baby, listen, I should have done this a long time ago, but I'm glad I did it regardless. You know what I'm saying? Because I transferred that from PetSmart, and then I put in my own Roth IRA. Well, that's not what it's called. Roth IRA. I don't think I said that correctly, but that Roth IRA, I put that into, that was my 401k that I switched and I put it into that. And so the money is still adding up on and on and on. So even when and if you leave the corporate world and you want to do your own thing, you can take your money and transfer it somewhere else and it will still build up if you keep on putting money in there. Now, PetSmart ain't gonna keep on putting money in there when you leave. They're like, all right, you out? Deuces. We did our job. Now the rest is up to you. But yeah, it's something to look into, and it's highly beneficial. Extremely, because like I said, I was able to buy a van with that. Or it wasn't a van, it was a mini school bus. That's another episode for another day. But I was able to do it with my money, my 401k money. So thank you, PetSmart, for that. Another pro is y'all get PTO, paid time off. That accumulates. The more you work, the more it accumulates, and you get by years. Like I think at 10, if you work at PetSmart for 10 years, you get 4 weeks paid vacation. PTO and vacation time, honey. Sick time, honey. I wish I had that for myself. I wish I gave myself benefits. I wish I gave myself PTO, vacation time, because if I leave and if I go on vacation, I'm not working for a week, money ain't coming in for a week, baby. It's not. Now, I do 50% deposits for my clients to book and save their spots to have an appointment. That's half of their service fee. That ain't all of it. So, and that's not all the time. That's not consistently happening every single day. So the money isn't always coming like I would like it to. If I'm not working, the money ain't coming. But when I was at PetSmart, that money was coming to me in the next paycheck because I used my vacation time. Oh, what a beautiful thing. Oh, how I miss those perks of working for corporate. Like, man, when I tell you, I was hurting and I was sad, but I'm like, damn. Sometimes I be thinking, I'm like, should I go back? And then I think about it a little bit more and I'm like, yeah, no, I ain't going back. Like, it ain't that serious for me to have PTO. It ain't that serious, okay? Because my freedom was what I look forward to the most. But we'll get into that. I ain't done yet. Yeah, so that is a beautiful thing. Also, the steady schedule, most times, because sometimes people call out, people ask you to switch with them, things happen. And then, like sometimes you're on vacation, sometimes you're sick. So that's why I said most times. But the steady schedule, and you get to see your schedule 2-3 weeks out, so you know what you need to do, and you know who you need to book. Child, stop playing with me. That was the best for me, because I was always, I'm a planner with vacations and with like going out with friends or family to like, I need to set things up. Things need to be set in motion, because if I want to go and do something, I'm going to check the schedule and I'll be like, oh, no one's taking this spot right now. I'm a request off. Go into that computer, be like, I'm requesting off for this day. I'm requesting off for this weekend. And then I get first pick, first dibs, baby, it's over. You're a little bit quicker than that. You got to be quicker than that when it comes to trying to get off before me. Baby, I'm going to win every time. Well, not every time, but I'm a finagler, y'all. Like, I am a gift of gab, and I know how to use my words wisely. So if I'm trying to like switch with you, I'm gonna finesse that real good. And most times, I want to say 97% of the time, I get that person to switch with me, or I get that person to take my time, or I get the half a day. I'm a finagler to the best of them, but it worked in my favor. So I do appreciate a steady schedule and being able to have a consistent schedule weeks ahead so you can plan accordingly for yourself. And then on top of that, there is structure. So there are SOPs. If you don't know what an SOP is, a standard operating procedures. There is morning task, afternoon task, and evening task. I was most likely a mid shifter or a night person. So when I came in, you have chores to do. So mostly you have to make phone calls. There's a call log. You call clients who haven't been in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and you call them to see if they want to book an appointment. And you go down the list. If they want to book an appointment, you book the appointment. If they don't, you check it off and say, okay, thank you. Come and call us when you want to make an appointment, whatever. Excuse me. So that would be a thing. And then also like cleaning out kennels, because dogs are coming in and out, and not everybody is going to clean up after a dog after they bring them out to their like pet parent. And then they want to go and do their next dog. They're not going to remember all the time to go and clean out that kennel that dog just left. So there is like a whole routine of like cleaning procedures, disinfecting, hosing out the bathing area if there's tons of hair. And I was very particular about things being cleaned and washed, because people would be half-assing cleaning and then soap scum would build up. Oh, nasty hair would be in the corners, build up with poop, like dog poop that was left over that somebody forgot. And I'm just like, y'all lazy. That's what y'all not going to do, because I don't want to have to be here later than I need to clean up your mess. So I was very particular. Like, did you do your chores? People would try to leave mad earlier, like, oh, I get to leave early. I'm like, okay, that's cool. You can leave early, but did you do your stuff? Did you do your chore tasks before you want to leave early? Because you're not going to leave that stuff with me. And that's on period, because guess what I'm not going to do? Your work. And then somebody going to be mad and start to blame me for not doing what you were supposed to do. Oh, I'm snitching. I don't care. I'm snitching. I was like, well, such and such didn't do it, so you expect me to do it? And they'll be like, oh, they were supposed to, yep, their name is on the chore list right there for that task to do. So I would be appreciative of the list, because that tells you who was doing what and who was being lazy. And I ain't got time to be lazy, because I want to go home. I want to get my things done and bounce and be out. Because I got to go to a club. I got to shake a tail feather, okay? Period. Y'all not going to make me miss my time to shine and dance and do a lot of things that I can't do at work. Okay? That's just what it is. but the structure kept everybody accountable and kept things functioning properly. Because without structure, baby, it's going to be in the pits of hell. That grooming salon will not operate well. Everybody will be like, oh, my client was supposed to be in here. No one put it in the books. No one did that. I don't know if it's probably different now, but we had a book and we put the dog's appointments in the book, and then we will also put it in the computer. But sometimes people would erase and not put it in the computer, and then we'd be like, oh, this person said that they were supposed to be here at this time and they're not in the book. And like, somebody erased it, or somebody switched it and put it in somebody else's spot when they weren't supposed to. So it'd be a lot of that. Would be annoying. That would piss me off. And I'd be like, see, what we not gonna do is mess up my books, because baby girl need to make some money, honey. Okay. So I feel like now everything is strictly computer generated, which is nice because the computer, you know, you can see it in plain sight, and you probably got to go through a little bit more effort to delete things and move things around, and probably ain't anybody got time for that. So I do appreciate some structure. Also, a pro is the teamwork and friendship building. Like I said earlier, camaraderie in the salon, I had a lot of that. And that led to making long-lasting friendships. I still have people that I worked with in the salon. I still have them as friends to this day. I still stay in contact with a lot of people that I knew from, you know, PetSmart, and some of them are still my friends to this day. I built best friendships with them, even had a business partner with like someone who worked at PetSmart that's no longer now, but like, it is nice to know that you can form friendships and bonds with people that you work with, because you see them more than you see your family or friends, because you're at work majority of the day, every single day out of the week, almost every single day out of the week. So you're going to have a deeper connection with people that you work with than maybe your friends or your family, you know, because you see them mostly. You see them the most throughout your day. So I do enjoy that, because I am a very bubbly person. I'm very extroverted, and I'm a team player, and then I'm a person that like loves to network and find friendships in people. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I do miss that aspect of corporate work, I guess you can say, because I just work by myself in people's homes. Now, there'll be times that I do have conversations with my clients, but it's a little bit different to have a conversation with a client versus having a conversation with a fellow groomer who knows and understands what you're doing and what you're going through. So I do miss those moments, but like, the beauty is social media is a thing now, and I'm able to go live sometimes and like chat with y'all on live, or like if I like make a story or make a video and I post it, people comment, like groomers that I know or groomers that I form friendships with online, they understand what I'm going through. So that's really nice. But there's nothing like face-to-face interaction with a fellow like-minded individual like yourself. But, you know, I'm grateful that I did have those opportunities to do that. And I'm forming more relationships with y'all via online and going to grooming expos and trade shows and things like that. So it's not all a bad thing. But speaking of grooming expos and things like that, I will say corporate salons encourage you to further your education, because you want to know why? They want to make sure you know what you're doing and you stay up to speed on the trends and, you know, the things that are new and growing in the industry. So they're going to encourage you highly to further your education. And I'm not mad at that. Now, will they compensate you? No. they're going to be like, I suggest you go, but they ain't going to pay for it. I feel like they should. They should give you one grooming show to go to and they comp it for you. If you want to go and further your education or go to a seminar, like a class for grooming, I feel like corporations, they make so much money, they should comp you for one groom a year. That's not bad because there's 50 million different types of trade shows, grooming expos, conventions, and seminars. Online, offline, in person, whatever. You can pick one for the year. I don't think that's going to break the bank. You know, let me know how you feel about that. Because I feel like that would be something I would do if I had a corporation or like a franchise of grooming shops or whatnot. I would do that because you want your groomers to be top notch, top tier. And why not tell them to go to a grooming show or a trade show or a convention or anything like that? Just to, brush up on their skill set. Makes sense to me, right? Also, they give you bonuses. Like, I did enjoy the Christmas parties. That's another form of like team, what is it called? Team building, I want to say, like keeping the team members like happy and satisfied to work there. Incentives, bonuses. So we had Christmas parties and like parties throughout the year, and they would give us gifts. If you did something for a long period of time, like they had Employee of the Month, they had we're hitting a quota, we need certain packages to be sold within this month. If you meet that goal, then we're going to give you a pizza party, or we're going to take y'all out bowling, or, the Christmas party was like extra bonuses for how many years you worked there. And you get to pick like certain gifts from this list or whatever. And one Christmas, I won a Snuggie. Yeah, remember the Snuggies, y'all? I still have my Snuggie, actually. It's very comfy and cozy, but I don't use it like I should. I should go and wash it, actually, and wear it. But it's getting warmer out, so when it's cold again, I'm going to bring that bad boy out. But one year I got a Snuggie as a Christmas gift or bonus, and then another year I got a shiatsu massager. And when I tell y'all, I still use that to this day. That was the best gift I ever got from a company. Best gift. So those are perks, those incentives. I'm all here for that. Like, I'm truly here for that. And I ain't got no problems with that. So yeah, I love those pros of being a corporate groomer, but with everything that's glitter, it ain't always gold. With the pros come the cons, y'all, and that's just what it is. So let's get into the cons. With the cons, there's lack of, I'm not going to say you don't have, I'm just going to say there is lack of freedom of creativity, creative expression, and experimentation. Now, when I say that, you cannot do too much of like creative color or create a dog to look like something cute and fun and fancy. Like if you wanted the dog to look like a panda, or not even you, the client wants the dog to look like a panda. PetSmart ain't gonna let you do that. Like, they're gonna upcharge you out the ass, and then they're gonna be like, you better make sure that looks exactly how that client wants it to be. And then there's also regulations on the certain grooming products that you can use. And I doubt PetSmart now allows you to use, the Pet Safe dye. I doubt that, because when I worked at PetSmart, they only had pet chalk. You can only use pet chalk, and I think it was like pet hairspray. I forgot. It's been so long, but yeah, there was no, like, the most outlandish thing that you could do creatively was color your dog's nails, like paint the nails, and then like I said, do the chalk dye on the ears and the tails. That was pretty much it. You ain't gonna get too fancy other than that. So, and I doubt they would let you do like intricate like designs on the dog. Like you could do like a little tattoo on the dog that was like you can rinse off right away. That's nothing. Like that's spray paint on the dog, non-toxic, and it's pet safe. But other than that, y'all lucky if you're getting some dye on the dog that's pet chalk or whatnot. So it's kind of lackluster when it comes to creativity in corporate salons. Now, I know like Pomeranians, they get a lion cut, which is like they leave the mane and then they take the body short, and you can get like a lion tail where you shave the base and then the tip of the tail is still nice and fluffy. I've done that a few times for Pomeranians, but that was pretty much it when it comes to fancy haircuts. But I was able to do like different types of color, like pet color, pet safe color on the dogs. But clients don't always want that. And then it's like, if you really want to be creative, you would probably have to go to a private shop or do it on your own in order to get the creative juices flowing, you know? So they kind of stifle you on the creativity. But most people come there just to get their dogs washed, and smelling good, or like, you know, shaved down, or just look cute. Just look cute and fluffy. They don't want the bells, like the whole shebang of, ooh, your dog looks like Pikachu, or ooh, your dog looks like, I don't know, a Christmas tree. They're not gonna want that all the time, you know? So maybe that's why, because creative styles don't always make the most money. And it takes a lot of time. And they're all about the time is money, honey. Like, get this dog in and out so you can get the next dog done. They ain't worried about you expressing yourself and making a name for yourself as being the creative groomer, you know? So, yeah. That's something that you would have to consider if you are a creative person. Another con is the blackout days. I do not miss this. I do not. I am so glad and so grateful that I don't got to put myself through all that drama, because I'd be upset. Blackout days, if you are unaware, is when you cannot request off in a certain time frame, especially during Christmas season, because they need all hands on deck when Christmas season approaches. So I don't remember when it starts, but I want to say, sorry, I have a little scratch behind my ear. My bad, y'all. I want to say probably after Thanksgiving, they have blackout days. Like, you cannot request off, you cannot have vacation time around that time until the new year, probably. And it's like, why? How y'all gonna tell me when I can't take a vacation? How you gonna tell me? Like, that's wild to me. If I want to go on vacation on Christmas Day and the week before, like the week leading up to Christmas, if I want to be off and have vacation, I should be allowed to. What if I don't celebrate Christmas and I just want to be on vacation? I can't request off? That's the bullshit right there that I don't like. And I'd be like, I don't want no parts of that. So I'm glad that I don't have to deal with that. But I feel for y'all who have to, because around the holidays is hella stressful. And that leads me into burnout during the holidays. When you have no days off and it's back to back to back to back days, long days, draining days, annoying days, because you got 11 dogs. And if you were in a salon that I was in, it was overcrowded. That's another thing. Oops, I was so upset I hit my mic. That's another thing. The overcrowded salons, that causes agitation, accidents, burnout, stress, unnecessary drama, arguments, all that, all in one salon. Ain't got time for that. You can miss me with that. I'm so good off of that. So, yeah, I feel like people should be allowed to take some time off around those days, around the holiday season, because it can be so stressful and people can make unnecessary mistakes and hurt dogs, hurt themselves, and no one's got time for that, you know? But you know what corporate says? I want the money, honey. So get the dogs done. And that's another thing. They want you to worry about the quantity and not the quality, which I think is so foolish, because it's like, don't you want the dog to look good? You got me over here rushing to get this dog done so the other dog can come over here, and I got to put the other dog in the kennel, and then I got to get the other dog to get washed. So ask somebody to wash the dog for me so that I can partially dry it, put it in the kennel, let it sit there for hours and shake and be scared and be terrified, and then I have to rush to get that dog done. Sometimes skip my lunch. Yes. I mean, I kind of do that working for myself too, but I get to decide if I want to eat lunch or not. They force you to like take a lunch, but half the time you're taking a 20-minute lunch and you running right back into the salon and finishing the dog. And then when your half-hour break is up, they'd be like, oh, clock back in. Or you ask somebody, yo, can you clock back in for me? And you was still back at work. You was working when you ain't supposed to be working. That ain't good. You ain't supposed to be doing that. Okay. But that's the name of the game when it comes to corporate. Oh, this one is annoying. Grinds my gears. These last two grind my gears, honestly. And these are the last two. There are rules that sometimes don't even apply to your job description. Let me give you an example. So there will be times where I'm sitting waiting for my dogs to come in. Maybe they're late. Maybe I finished the dog early and I'm just waiting for them. So I'm doing certain things in the salon that I'm supposed to do. They're part of my daily task, right? Doing calls. I really hated doing call logs because it's just like, I don't like being on the phone talking to customers that I don't care to talk to. But that's something I would have to do just to kill time. I'm like, let me call these people, right? Or I would go in the back. I would clean up stuff while, people were still getting other things done. So I'm killing time so I wouldn't have to worry about doing it later in the day, or helping somebody else out so they won't have to worry about doing that at the end of the day. Somebody from the store, from the actual store, not in the salon, maybe a manager would come up to my boss or come up to me and be like, what are you doing? I'm like, waiting for my dogs. And then I started picking up what they were putting down later on when, they kept on coming in and asking what you doing. I would be like waiting for my dog. They're like, oh, okay, well, you can start stocking shelves while you wait. I could do what? That's not in my job description. I didn't sign up to be a stalker for the store. I applied to be a groomer in the grooming salon. I'm not going out there and stacking the cans of Mighty Dog and the cans of Pro Plan and the bags of Nourish. I'm not stocking these shelves. I'm not going into pet care and trying to figure out what bird seed goes in what corner, what cat tree goes in the other. That's not my job. And then sometimes they would even say, were you trained to do register? And I was. And I'd be like, I wasn't. Oh, one of these days we gotta train you. Oh no, that's okay. Y'all don't gotta train me. No, sometimes we're short. Again, that's not my problem. Why are you telling me I gotta do something that's not my job description? That grinds my gears to the utmost power. I said, y'all got me fucked up. This one manager would try me every time. And I'm like, I ain't gonna say his name, but you know who you are. If you watching, you know who you are. We still cool now. But I had to start finessing it. And he would be in here and be like, Ciara, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm about to go on lunch. Or be like, I see him walking, I'll be like, oh, I gotta go, y'all, because he gonna ask me what I'm doing, and he gonna ask me to stock shelves, and I'm not stocking nothing. Not a damn thing. Okay? That is not my job description. So I'm in the back filling up shampoos. I'm cleaning out hair out of the kennels, and I'm like scrubbing the floors. I'm trying to find any and everything to make sure you don't ask me to stock no shelves. Because I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. And the final thing that pissed me off even more than that, because that's a close second, but the number one thing that pissed me all the way off is I would have to stay past my time because people wasn't doing their jobs. Y'all, why I gotta sit here and wait for y'all to be done when my shift is already done? And it would be at nighttime too. You want to know what else was crazy? Sometimes it wouldn't even be us in the salon. It would be people out on the store, because they would have to get the registers together. They would have to make sure that they put up everything that needed to be put up. And I was like, oh, well, we cleaned our things. We leaving. I would just tell them, I was like, I'm leaving. Like, you are going to force me to stay here because you're not done? We did our job. We cleaned the salon. And no, I'm not coming out here to help you. Well, if you help us, the sooner we can get out. Well, then hire more people. Because, like I said before, that's not in my job description, sir. That's not in my job description, ma'am. So I'ma leave. I'ma clock out and I'ma leave. Have a nice day. But, you know, they really didn't give me a hard time because they knew I did a good job in the salon, and they knew I cleaned and did the things that I was supposed to do. They even wanted me to be salon manager near the end of me quitting, because I hit a glass ceiling and I was just like, I don't need to be here no more. Like, if I came here to manage people, I would have gone and done something else in a different form or fashion. I came here to groom dogs. I was making more than my other salon manager because my mentor, she went to do bigger and better things. But yeah, they wanted me to do less dogs and do more paperwork and manage more people. Why would I do that? Why would I do that when I'm making more than my boss in commissions? Does that make sense to you? That don't make sense to me. So, I had to chuck the deuces and be out. But that is the life of a corporate groomer. Let me know in the comments if that resonates with you. I just want to have closing, remarks on that. I just want to know, I don't want to know. I just want to let y'all know that I am grateful and lucky that I did have a salon manager that invested in me and believed in me and wanted to see me win and grow. So I was able to become the groomer that I am today. And I will never disregard her for any of that. So I think it's really best that you find a mentor that believes in you as much as you believe in yourself. Or if you don't believe in yourself, get somebody who believes in you enough to make you believe in yourself, if that makes sense. I was also glad that I got the opportunity to make friends that, withstands the test of time, because I still have friends to this day that I worked at PetSmart with that, even though I do my own thing, that some of them still work there, but I come into the salon sometimes to check on them and be like, hey y'all, what's up? What y'all doing? What's up? How are things? What's new? And it's it's nice to see people that you had, good times with and went on trips with, went over each other's houses, had parties, things like that. It's really nice to be able to have friends that you work with or worked with. And it's also good to further your business opportunities and to gain clients that, love your work, love what you do, and maybe even follow you to your other locations or your other journeys in life. I have a lot of clients that followed me from PetSmart to the next phase of my grooming journey, which was a private shop. And then from that private shop to my own business. And some of those people, I still groom their dogs, but they're much older now, they're senior dogs now. So some of them have passed and that's really sad, but I am so grateful for the clients that I do have. And I'm not, I don't regret working for PetSmart. I really don't. I just know that it's different, but everybody's journey is different. And that's why I'm telling you mine. So thank you for listening to this episode of Mixed Thoughts, a grooming podcast. If you want to get into grooming and want to try a corporate salon, let me know in the comments, would you try a PetSmart or a Petco? If you are in a corporate salon, tell me what you like about it. Is it the same as how I have explained it to you on when I worked at PetSmart, or is it different? And if you work at Petco, tell me any differences that it has from PetSmart. I'm curious to know about that. If you have a corporate story that you would like to tell, please email me at mixedthoughtspodcast. That's mixed with 2 X's, thoughtspodcast at popapoochspa.com. I'll leave it down here, or I'll leave it in the description box below, and I'll leave it in the show notes if you are listening to this podcast and not watching it on YouTube. But I also want you to ask me some grooming related questions. If you have any, send it to that same email and I will read it and answer them on the next podcast episode, because I want to hear from y'all. I want to interact with y'all. This is going to be an interactive type of podcast. I want to hear from y'all. I want to interact with y'all, and we're a community. Y'all the mixies, and I'm here for the mixies. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I want to hear from you. I want to know the things that you want to ask. Ask me whatever you want to ask me. If it's crazy, I ain't going to answer it. But most times I will answer whatever you're going to ask me. If I have the answer, I'll give it to you. If I don't know, I'll find out who does, and then I'll let you know later. Also, I need your help. If you are watching this right now, please like this video. It helps me out a lot. It shows YouTube that other people enjoy this content, and maybe I can reach out to more mixies to get an understanding of what it is to be a groomer, what it is to be on a groomer journey, all the things that encompass dog grooming, pet care industry things, all those good stuff, all the good stuff. And if you're listening to this podcast, could you please leave a review and 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts? That helps me out tremendously as well. I truly appreciate that. And if you enjoyed this podcast and found it helpful, that all of that will make it easier for me to keep on pushing out content to all of my mixies that I know and love or want to know and love. So thank you so much for watching and listening, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.